Earlier today, Cyberpunk 2077 on PC got a new update. This was a PC exclusive update, but one that I would describe as critical for a lot of you. The update was super small, just a bit over 150 megabytes on GOG, while being a bit larger on Steam, but it did fix a major issue in game. And these newly updated Cyberpunk 2077 displays can fix a major gap in your wall. You can pick these up using my affiliate link down below and potentially even get a discount. But over the last couple of months, Cyberpunk 2077 saw a gigantic increase in crash reports popping up on all of the major forums. Some of these describe not being able to launch the game at all, while many others can only spend a few seconds in a save game before crashing to desktop. And if this was impacting you, you almost certainly are using a Razer mouse, as the ultimate cause of this crashing issue is having keybinds remapped on your Razer mouse in Cyberpunk 2077, most often users having the dodge and dash key rebound to their mouse button. Previously, the workaround here was literally just reverting your keybinds and you could freely play the game again, but with the newly released patch 2.12a, things are totally fixed now, so you could use your Razer mouse and keybind dodge freely. Although unfortunately, of course, this update did come with some other notable changes, and that is with breaking the core mods for a lot of users on PC. This time around, many of those core mods like Cyber Engine tweaks will need updates. Although thankfully, since this was such a small update, many of the other content mods will not need to be patched to work with this one. So hopefully in a day or two, once those core mods are updated, you could largely resume playing as normal. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if several are updated by the end of today. I'm sure for a ton of you out there, this is pretty frustrating. I'm sure a lot of you are upset that this update shipped at all. Fixing a singular crash issue, but at the cost of a ton of users' mod lists is quite steep. But honestly, this crashing issue was pretty bad, and I think made worse by the fact that reinstalling the game doesn't necessarily reset your keybinds, and in turn, doesn't fix the problem. And of course, crashing is a game-breaking bug for the vast majority of players, so while I understand the frustrations, I definitely think this update did need to be released ASAP. But we may have also just crossed an interesting milestone, as this may very well be one of the final patches for Cyberpunk 2077. At this point, the only other things we know about that are on the way is, firstly, FSR 3.0 frame generation. Modders recently added this into the game on their own, and the performance gains are gigantic from this. But an official implementation has been promised by CDPR and AMD. But even further, with patch 2.12, CDPR broke this crystal coat feature on Rayfield cars. Now, this isn't applying the paint job evenly. You'll have a weird mix-up of a bunch of different colors and several different tones, and I assume they're going to want to address this too at some point, so perhaps another hotfix or a bit of a meteor update will be coming later on. And the Cyberpunk 2077 director even just recently commented on future updates in a recent interview. They describe how 2.1 was really the last major update for the game, but it's possible that there are some other little things that come in here or there, just because as you're kind of messing around with stuff, sometimes you discover something that is not a high risk, or it's easy to integrate, or some developers have some bandwidth. Then they bring it to me, I'm like, alright, well, I trust you that it isn't going to mess with your other work, so let's give it a go. So in the future, as we see developers perhaps tweaking around with Cyberpunk 2077, perhaps other small feature additions could come, but the bulk of the large updates are behind us now. Although honestly, after covering the past few updates, I feel like CDPR is running into issues with some of these smaller feature additions, and honestly, it almost seems like what's actually going on is going quite counter to what the director's saying here. The last 4 updates for this game were all meant to be relatively minor, but ended up introducing some kind of fairly major bug, and one of those bugs that needs to be addressed pretty much. It's not like something you could just leave there in the game files and ignore. I mean, we're quite literally looking at that today. This crashing with Razer keybinds was introduced from patch 2.11, and even the follow-up patch with 2.12 broke Crystal Coat while trying to actually add in another cool feature around Crystal Coat. So now seemingly there'll have to be a patch 2.13 at some point to address what was broken with 2.12. And it definitely feels like CDPR has been having this never-ending hotfix cycle where every single update breaks something new, and then the update that's addressing what was broken also in turn breaks something else. But thankfully, it's not all bad, because CDPR has also been adding in some other curiosities and mysteries into Cyberpunk 2077, including with the ongoing FF06B5 mystery. With patch 2.12, this got a very curious new addition, and if you're interested in learning about the full context around that one, check out this video.